This is the conclusion to the Pong game we started in the previous lesson. Let's recap what we accomplished in that lesson, and then we'll finish what we started. Essentially, we almost completed the game, creating 3 new sprites on a white stage with a thin black border. We were able to make the ball bounce back and forth, and the paddles move up and down, so the game is almost there. But something is not quite right. The ball is not bouncing off the paddles. How do we fix that? Which sprite needs to have that code? If you guessed the red ball, you are correct. Go to the code for the red ball, and we'll make some adjustments. Put 2 more if statements, stacked one on top of the other, and snap them into place between the wait and the if on edge bounce commands, like this, inside the forever loop. We'll use these if commands to detect if the ball is hitting the paddles, and then take appropriate action. Time to think again. You need 2 things, one for each if statement and one inside each if statement. Pause the video again and think about what makes sense to do here. Did it work? What did you try? For the if statement, you need the touches color block we saw at the very beginning of the lesson. That command is a true or false command, and you can tell because it is pointed at both ends. It is constantly checking to see if the red ball is touching anything of that color. Go and get 2 of those commands and put 1 each into the 2 if statements. Since the paddles are green and blue, we need to check for those 2 colors. We'll use the first if statement to check for touching the left green paddle, and the second if statement to check for touching the blue right paddle. Make those changes using the eyedropper to select the right color. Now, what needs to happen when the ball touches either color? Think about it. If you thought the ball needs to change to the opposite direction, you are correct. Use the point in direction command to make that happen. Pause the video while you make all of those code changes, and then run your program to see if it works. You should have done point in direction -90 for the right blue paddle, and point in direction 90 for the left paddle. Let's run the program to see how that works. Pretty cool, huh? Well, kind of. But it's kind of boring because you never have to move the paddles. The ball just stays in the middle. It never changes angles. How can we make that happen? Any ideas? This last thing is kind of tricky, so you'll have to think hard. Pause the video and discuss it with someone if you can, or think about it on your own. Okay, let's see if your thinking is correct. The idea is to change the direction of the ball in other directions than just 90 or -90. And it also needs to change randomly to make it more interesting. This is where we use the variable and the random command. First, we need to make a variable. Go to the variables group and click on Make a Variable, and let's call it Direction. Notice how it pops up in the group now? Click on the checkbox next to it and see how it shows in the display window. This will help you keep track of its value as the program is running. Notice that the value for it is now 0, which is called its default value. Now drag over the Set Direction command and just put it in the gray area for now. Switch to the Operators menu and get the Random command and drag it into the white box of the Set Direction command. See how it outlines the box when you get really close? When that happens, just let it go and it will drop into the box. Now we need to change the 2 values. For the left paddle, the command now has it pointing in the 90-degree direction. A good range would be anywhere from 15 degrees less than that or 15 degrees more than that. Think about those 2 values and then make the changes in the random command to make that happen. pause if you need to. The two values you should have put are 75 and 105 in that order. Now drag the point and direction command out of the if statement and snap it into place below the set direction command. Finally, go back to the variables group and drag the brown direction variable and snap it into place with the point and direction command, like this. Now right-click on these two commands to duplicate them. Put one into the first if statement and the other into the second if statement. Be sure to remove the point and direction command that is still there, and then change your values to negative instead of positive. Finally, it is time to see your game run. Give it a shot. Yay! You did it! Great job on creating your first game of Pong.